So a starting point for this conversation today and for work in this area, and for many of you this may actually be a shift, is taking the criminal legal system and starting with the premise that the criminal legal system is actually a site of harm for most people. Whereas an initial glance, you may think, victim of human trafficking, a victim of a crime, what would they get from the criminal legal system? Well, they would get assistance. They would get recourse. That's a system that would be looking out for their well-being. Unfortunately, that is not the case. Instead, many survivors of human trafficking understand and view the criminal legal system with a significant and well-earned, and I cannot emphasize that enough, well-earned amount of distrust and therefore avoidance. Right? Many have had individual negative experiences with law enforcement that includes police misconduct or disrespect, can even go as far as physical or sexual abuse at the hands of the police. Many have been arrested themselves, so their own prior criminalization colors their view of law enforcement and the court system, and makes it clear that that system is not designed to help them as victims of a crime, but rather that system is treating them as perpetrators. Many victims of human trafficking come from communities that have negative experience with law enforcement, whether this is immigrant communities, communities of color that face over-policing, the LGBTQ community that again faces targeted policing and profiling at the hands of the police. So even where victims of trafficking and survivors of trafficking have not themselves had individually negative experiences with law enforcement, they belong to and are parts of communities that have had community level negative experience. And now, particularly in this moment, in this country, foreign-born survivors have again, well-earned fear of the immigration legal system and how coming in contact with any portion of the legal system, whether it's family court, criminal court, places them at risk for removal or deportation. Obviously, this is a huge fear that impacts families and stability across the country.